there's flame in here, then go ahead and hit the flaming material. But if it's just that gas layer you want to cool, and maybe even no flame yet, but you just want to cool it up, just like that slide. So, good.
You said not to do it like directly over your head though, right?
Typically, I mean, you could, but the bottom line is then you're going to have some of the waste, because it's never a perfect environment. Some of the waste is going to fall down on your gear, and then your gear is going to get wet, and then there could be some steaming going on inside, which you want to try to avoid if at all possible. You are going to get wet, there's just no doubt about it, but you want to try to stay as dry as you can, because drier heat is better in your gear than wet. So ahead of you is a good thing. So if you're starting to feel it, ahead of you, that's pretty much from the flame, that's the way you're going to feel it. It's coming at you.
So if you go from a really wet environment to a really hot environment, does the water on your turnout gear and the steam that comes off of it at any risk to you or the quality of your gear?
I think steam burns are not nearly as prevalent as they used to be. Our gear has gotten better. Will you feel, I mean, you're going to get hot, you're going to get sweaty. So that's all going to happen. So your clothes are going to get wet, so your inside layer of your gear is going to get a little bit damp from that. But our steam burns, there's enough of a ventilation system, layering system in your gear where it's not a problem like it used to be. We used to have more problems with it when we had more of a rubberized type of a coat, which didn't allow for ventilation or breathing. Whereas our new stuff, the Nomex and things like that, allow for a little bit more breathing. So not too much of a problem anymore. Could still happen, but much less common. All right, so gas cooling stream reach, we talked about that. If the water droplets fall out of overhead smoke, the gases have cooled. Stop spraying water into the smoke. It's done its job. Shut the nozzle down, move forward. If the fire burns unchecked, the gas layer will regain heat. The gas cooling may have to be repeated. So again, depends how much heat is being produced. You may have hit one corner of it and cooled it down, great, but you move forward a little bit and the fire grows a little bit and now it's coming back at you again. You may have to repeat that pattern again. So again, just keep in mind you're getting to where you need to be. Repeat gas cooling as needed as the whole team advances under the gas layer. All right. Questions? Pelham.
If you go into like a room and you got fire and then you got like rollover that you think might flash, should you work on the rollover first or the fire?
Well, you are in the right ballpark, because that's right what we're going to talk about. A direct attack, an indirect attack, and a combination attack. So if I hit, so I'll give you my thoughts on it, see what the book says. If I hit the burning material with water, that heat producing item has stopped. Okay, so eventually that smoke is going to disperse. Okay, and the heat is going to disperse. So if I stop the production, it's not going to get any worse than it is right now. Okay, I might make more steam, but the heat layer is not going to get any worse than it is. The rollover is not going to get any worse than it is. But if it's pretty close to you, yeah, hit some of that and then hit some of this. Hit some of that and then hit some of this. So that's called a combination attack, where you are hitting the fuel directly, direct attack, and you're also hitting other areas within there, indirect. All right, so that's what this is going to talk about. But I always like to hit the burning stuff. Put the wet stuff on the red stuff. That's our objective. But the gas cooling is something I had to do to get there, because it's hot and our bodies can't handle it. So I've got to cool some gas in order to get where I need to go. So we're talking about direct attack, indirect attack, and combination. Direct, apply solid or straight stream, so whatever nozzle you have, apply water on the burning fuels until the fire is extinguished. So put the wet stuff on the red stuff. Indirect attack. So you are throwing water, maybe bouncing it off something. So again, that one where you're at your house and you're down the hallway leading to the bedrooms, and the flame is starting to come out that rear bedroom, okay? And there's rollover over here. Stop, open up your hose line, hit the gas layer, knock the rollover back, and shoot some water into the room. Am I putting water on the fuel? Some of it maybe, some of it maybe not, but it's still cooling that area and it's pre-wetting surrounding combustibles, so water is good in a fire area, but it's indirect because you can't get direct on it yet. So that's what they're showing here, is they are doing this. So again, remember I told you that you're going to start hearing throughout your career, you're going to hear the term hit it hard from the yard. Okay, and that's what they're doing. It's an upstairs fire. How long is it going to take us to get in the front door, through the house, find the stairs, and get up the stairs in a very smoky environment? A couple minutes? What's that fire going to do in a couple minutes with an unvented, or with a ventilation window open? It's going to grow a lot. So if we can throw some water in there indirectly, bounce it off the ceiling and the walls, it's going to spray, it's going to hit some fuel, it's going to cool some gases, and it's going to minimize the fire. So now you have that couple minutes to get there where you know the fire is not going to grow as quickly as it would have you not done that. So that's our change of mindset, where it is okay to throw water from the outside of a structure into a burning building. And you will have people who say, we don't do that here, I don't do that, I've never done that. All right, fine. So indirect attack can be made from inside or outside the structure. So inside, down the hallway, bedroom, that example I gave, or here, outside. Direct the stream toward the ceiling or bank the steam off the walls. Produce more steam than a direct attack. Okay. Because you're more into the gas layer and the gases as opposed to the fuel. I'll buy that. Cools the fire environment. Yep. Fills the compartment with steam and smoke. Yep. Maybe the only method possible until the temperatures are reduced. Okay. Indirect attack from the exterior. So this picture here. Direct a solid or straight stream, so water, at the ceiling through an opening. Discharge water until the room cooling and the fire control is achieved. You're going to decide that based on flame. Once temperatures have been reduced, hose lines can be advanced and firefighters can make a direct attack. So now enter the structure and go in, go towards the seat of the fire, etc., etc. All right, still on that same subject. Advance as near to the seat of the fire as possible, remaining outside of the compartment. So if it's the bedroom, you're going to be in the hallway. Use the ceiling and walls to bank or deflect or bank the stream onto the fire. Still indirect, but you're in the interior now. So you're down that hallway, banking it. And eventually you're going to get around that corner where you're going to do your direct attack. Large volumes of steam, realize that's going to happen. Firefighters should not be in the compartment. Well, you're going to be. Room may need to be ventilated before it's safe to enter. Probably not going to happen. Directing stream out to ceiling walls can stop or slow pyrolysis. Good, that's what we want to do. Water should not be applied long enough to upset the thermal layering. Good. Excuse me. All right, so just throw enough water to do the job. Direct attack is what we really want. Okay, indirect can cool it, can pre-wet, can slow it. All those things are good. Okay, but don't waste too much time. I've seen people, 30 seconds outside a structure playing water in a window. Dude, you've done all the good you can do from this spot going in that hole. You cannot do any better than what you've done. So stop it. Do what you need to do. All right, so this is the slide that I hate the most, but it's in the book and you will be tested on it. So I'm going to explain it. So a combination attack is any combination of a direct attack, water on burning fuel, and an indirect attack, ceiling, walls, gas layer, that type of stuff. So your book says that the ways you can do that is the T pattern. So create a T with your hose stream, up at the high level and then down at the fuel. Up at the high level and down at the fuel. Okay? Z pattern. Across, across, across. Across, across, across. Okay? O, circle. Okay? Some direct, some indirect. Okay? Would an N work? Would a Q work? Would an R work? Would a B work? Yes, all of those. So I hate this because it's just so idiotic. But again, they will talk about this. You will have to talk about this. So one of your testing stations for practical, we're going to talk about combination attacks. And you're going to say, I can use the TZ or O pattern to do a combination attack. Some of it going directly onto the fire, and some of it indirectly, cooling the gas layers or banking off objects. So there it is. You got to say it. You got to know it. But anyways. All right. Questions? You've asked some good ones. Any other ones floating out there? Base.
When you were working on the fire department, and were you like a captain and then the lieutenant? Did you do much IT or command or?
So yes, I did some, much, a lot. Well, yeah. So some fires, I am the command. Dumpster fires, garbage fires, car fires. Bat chiefs don't go to those. So the station officer, the company officer, is the officer. So I've done a lot of those. Structure fires. So we're going to get there along with at least 2, but probably 3 other stations are going to get there. And structure fires bring our battalion chief. So I will be in charge if I'm first due until the battalion chief gets there. And then we do a face-to-face, and I tell him what I got, what my folks are doing, and he can take over from there. Okay? Cortell.
So, for the pool day, we're just gonna show up in our regular clothes and maybe a bathing suit, and we don't have to bring anything. No, I'll have everything there that you need. So, dress for the weather, go inside, change, come outside, bathing suit. If you want to wear a t-shirt, that's fine too. We'll do our stuff. I'll go over it again briefly. I'll go before the day before, but I'll go over it. We'll do it. Everyone will get through those 2 evolutions. As soon as we can get it done with those 2 evolutions, then we can have a little bit of playtime. And then you can use the locker rooms, shower, change, or just dry off and get dressed and go back out. So we'll be starting our day at Howell High School. I'll tell you how to get there later. But it's the backside of Howell High School. There's a road that leads you right to it. You can't really miss it, so I'll go over that later as it gets closer. Transitional attack. So a transitional attack can transition from offensive to defensive, defensive to offensive. So are we getting into defensive, offensive? All right. Let's see what it says. Exterior fire attack through a ventilation opening. Okay. Then interior crews make entry and reach fires to complete suppression. All right. So we're not really using the term offensive, defensive here, but that's what we're doing. We're throwing water through a vent opening. No one of us, we are not in the building yet. We're throwing the water first to cool it down, make the conditions a little bit better, a little easier to find, all that kind of stuff. So that is a defensive type of tactic when you throw water from the outside with no one inside. But then we're going to go interior. So we call that a transitional. We can also go the other way, where we go interior and start to fight the fire, and then the fire is too big. We can't find it. It's concealed. It's growing. It's got flammable liquid, something, and now we need to back off and throw water from the outside. So this is talking about going defensive to offensive, which is where we're at when we're talking about this, but it also can work the other way and go from offensive to defensive. All right, so offensive, throw some defensive, throw some water in through a vent opening, a window, something like that, typically, and then go inside, offensive. Help transition the fire from vent limited to fuel limited, reduces the potential for flashover because you've cooled it, creates a more survivable interior environment, effective for fires in buildings with modern synthetic furnitures or structures built with lightweight construction. Okay, it's effective on any type of structure. You're taking what's burning and you're cooling it down, which is a good thing. Short applications of solid or straight stream applied to the side-to-side motion into overhead products of combustion. If you have a straight stream, may be the best in well-involved unventilated interior fires, will not upset thermal layering
as much, generates less steam and better reach. So fog creates the most steam, but it does the most good, it absorbs the most heat. Straight, remember that's the donut, it's got absorption on the outer edge and the inner edge, which is what we have here, so we're talking about a combination nozzle. But if you have the straight stream or solid stream, not straight stream, solid stream or smooth bore, that creates a cone of water that is just got the outside. So less effective at heat absorption. Better reach. Yeah. Yes, how folks?